Hey everyone, my name is Harsh Garg, and as part of HSBC's initiative to make your days at home a little more exciting, I'm here and I'm going to be taking a session on how to make vegetarian roti quesadillas. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to make our accompaniments to our quesadilla. Okay, so quesadillas are never complete without a nice salsa, a sour cream. So first we're going to make those, and I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our sour cream. So what I have here is some regular yogurt or dahi, and a little bit of water has released from it, so I'm just going to pour that out. We don't want a lot of water or a lot of liquid in it. So what we're going to do is, over here I would say that I have about 75 to 80 grams of yogurt, and in that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of fresh cream, we're going to add a pinch of salt, and finally we're going to just very lightly squeeze half a lemon. We don't even want the whole thing, just a few drops really. There we go. That's probably about half a teaspoon, maybe even less. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to mix this up together. Alright, so this sour cream, it's homemade, it's delicious, but obviously it doesn't have any of the added preservatives or anything like that, no chemical compounds really. So it is not going to last as long as store-bought sour cream, but I guarantee you the taste is going to be just as good, if not better. And the other thing also about this is that it won't be as thick as store-bought sour cream, but there is a fix around this if you have the time to do it. You can always take your yogurt and hang it in a muslin cloth and get even more of the water out of it, so you're left with a really thick curd at the end. And if you do that, then you will have quite a nice thick sour cream. But that being said, our sour cream is completely ready. We're just gonna give it a little taste. Yeah, it's delicious. Okay, and we're just gonna pop that in the fridge for now. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make our salsa. This is a regular pico de gallo, which is the mild, chunky salsa that you will see in most Mexican restaurants. It consists of tomatoes, onion, garlic, coriander leaves, lemon, salt, and pepper. That's it, okay? So what I have here is I have some finely chopped, finely diced tomatoes. This is 2 tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna put those in my bowl. And I'm gonna add my finely chopped onion. This is 1 onion, actually. We're gonna pop that in. All right, we've got about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped coriander. We'll throw that right in as well. So now I'm gonna add in about 1.5 teaspoons of chopped garlic. Okay, don't mind the color of my garlic, it is green, I know, but what happens is I usually peel all of my garlic out of the cloves to make life easier for me, and I store it in the refrigerator in a bottle of vinegar. So the vinegar is actually what gives it its green color, but it also helps in preserving it so my garlic doesn't go bad for ages. The last thing that we're gonna add in here before we season is our lemon juice. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to add the juice of 1 whole lemon. And finally, we're going to add our salt and pepper. Just like that. And our pepper. Okay, just give it a few grinds. Depends on how much you like pepper, how spicy do you want it. Now, ideally, you want to use a bowl that you can cover with a lid, okay? So this is what's gonna make this so easy to do. All right, I've covered it, and all I'm gonna do is shake. And there you have it, guys, a nice chunky pico de gallo, ready to go for whenever we're ready to eat. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the fridge as well. All right, so our accompaniments are done. Now we're gonna move on to making our filling for our quesadilla. Okay, so first we're gonna bring a pan up to heat. We're gonna leave it on a high heat for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle in about a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, we're going to let that get nice and hot. So a good way to tell when the oil is hot enough without actually trying to throw something in or using your hands is to see how fluid it becomes in the pan. So if you can see this, it's very, very runny, almost like water now. And that's how we know that the oil is almost up to temp. So we're gonna leave it for another 10 seconds or so, and then we're gonna jump in with our vegetables. Okay, so here I have some thinly sliced onions and some thinly sliced yellow and green bell peppers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw all of this right in right away. Oil is ready. Now we want to hear that sizzle right away, okay? There you go. So that is the sound that we want to hear. And all of our veg goes in. Now we're just going to give it a nice toss. Now if you guys are using a non-stick, please use a wooden spoon to move your vegetables around. We don't want to ruin the non-stick by using metal and scratching our non-stick surface at all. Okay, that smells really, really nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in our remaining garlic. So this is about a tablespoon of finely chopped garlic. Okay, we're going to throw that right in. Now the reason that we add in these vegetables first is because they take slightly longer to cook than our softer vegetables. So we want these to have more time in the pan, so that by the end of it, all of the vegetables are cooked evenly, okay? All right, so now what I'm gonna do at this point is I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the mix. What this does is it draws all the moisture out of the vegetables, okay? So that's gonna make sure that our vegetables don't get too soggy, and they release all their water, and we're going to let all of that water cook off or evaporate. This smells really, really good, guys, already. Just onions and olive oil, obviously that smell is amazing. And of course that garlic. Okay, so now what we're going to do is our vegetables are getting nice and tender. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and add in my mushrooms. Now what I have here is regular white button mushrooms. I've taken the stems off and just thinly sliced those along with the actual mushroom head. So I'm going to show you here. So as you can see, I've got the mushroom heads as well, and the stems. I don't want to waste anything. It's all edible, it's all delicious. And we're going to add that in. Alright, so at this point I'm going to add in my black olives. I've got some thinly sliced black olives here. Very, very easy to find at your local grocery store. They come in bottles, they don't have to be, you know, it's basically a pantry staple. And finally, I'm going to add in my spring onions. Okay, so these are also finely chopped spring onions. I've gone ahead and used the greens and the white part. Now the aroma that's coming off of this is so wonderful. Those mushrooms, they have such an earthy flavor, and so that's really, really coming through quite nicely right now. And our filling is actually almost done. It's been, what, barely 5 minutes, I think. Now all we have to do is season this. We've already added our salt, so now we're going to go ahead and add some black pepper. Okay, we're going to add some cumin powder. We're going to go in with about 2 teaspoons of cumin powder. We're going to do half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg powder. And about 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Okay, we don't want it to burn, so you might want to just keep on shaking it, because we've still left it at a high heat. And finally, we're going to add in some red chili powder, or paprika if you have it. Now that totally depends on how spicy you like your food. I like it a little spicier, so I always add a little bit more. Okay, now we're just going to give that a nice mix. Make sure everything is evenly coated in those lovely spices. Wow. And there you go. Our filling is done. Okay, we're going to switch the gas off, we'll move it to the back, and we're going to bring our friend the tava on board. Okay, so now what I have here are some rotis that I've just made. Okay, now what we want to do is we're going to take 2 rotis. Okay, we're going to place one here, and we'll come back to you later. Alright, now for a quesadilla we obviously need some cheese. Alright, and so what I have here is some regular grated cheese. This is the regular processed cheese that you can find in any store right now. Alright, and I've just really, really finely grated it using the smallest grater. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you're going to take the roti and you're going to put some cheese along the edges. We're going to put it all over, but mostly along the edges. Okay, because what happens here is this cheese is going to act as the glue for our quesadilla to sort of make sure that the other roti, when we put it on top, sticks to it very, very nicely and doesn't fall apart. Okay, so we're just going to put this all along the edges, and we'll put a little bit in the middle as well. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is, of course, we're going to add our filling. Now, you want to put your filling right in the center, like this. Okay, and slowly spread it out towards the edges. You don't want to go all the way to the edge. You want to leave some of that cheese unencumbered. You want that to be free so it can actually melt nicely and stick to the other roti. But, you know, be as generous as you want with the filling. We have no shortage of it, as you can see. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer of cheese on top of this. Now because our filling is hot, this cheese is going to start melting pretty quickly anyway. Okay, now we're going to take our other roti and we're going to just place it on top. Okay, now give it a nice gentle push around the edges. See how much you can make it stick right off the bat. Okay, probably not a lot. And we're going to leave that for now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our tawa up to heat. And we're going to leave this on a medium-low flame, okay? We definitely don't want to burn this because obviously the roti is already cooked. We just want to get a nice golden brown texture, and we want that cheese to be beautifully melted inside. All right, so I have some butter here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread this butter around in the shape of my roti, which is a nice round shape. Okay, now as soon as that butter starts to bubble, that's when we're going to go ahead and put our quesadilla right on this tawa, okay? So I can see some bubbles starting to form. I'm going to wait for it to get a little bit hotter. Okay, so our butter is nice and bubbly now, and we are just going to pick up our quesadilla and we're going to place it down gently. Okay, you can hear that sizzle already, which means that it is at a good temperature. And we just want to move it around a little bit, keep it from burning. And now you can turn your heat to a low if you want. Okay, and all we're looking for is a nice golden brown on the other side. Once that's there, we know that the cheese is going to be melted as well, and then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. This shouldn't take more than 30 to 40 seconds. Right, I can see that cheese starting to melt on this side, which is a beautiful, beautiful sign. Okay, I'm just going to push down on it a little bit. And let's just check. All right, go for a little bit longer. Okay, our color is looking very, very good. I'm going to go ahead and flip it now. And look at that beautiful golden brown that we have here. Okay, so now you flipped it. You just want to spread it around, catch all that remaining butter that's in the pan. Make sure that the other side gets this beautiful color as well. And just keep on pressing down on the edges to make sure that we're getting that cheese. We're getting the heat going through the cheese, making sure that it melts. Okay. Now, as I'm pushing on the side, I can actually see the cheese oozing out of the side, which is lovely. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, and this is pretty much going to be ready in about 15 seconds flat. And I think we're ready. We're going to turn that gas off, and we're going to just slide that off onto our board. Okay, we can put that aside for now. And there you go, guys. This is your lovely vegetarian roti quesadilla done and dusted. Super, super simple. It takes, just about 5-6 minutes to cook that filling, and to put this together was under 2-3 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop that up for you. So you can hear that crispiness that we've gotten on that roti from the butter. Right, and it sounds great. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to cut it in half. And then turn it and cut it in half again. Okay, let's get a nice plate. And of course, we're not going to forget about our lovely accompaniments that we made. So here's our sour cream and our pico de gallo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon some into these lovely little ramekins that I have. Okay, and next we're going to put our lovely pico de gallo into this little guy here. All right, and so there you go, guys. Here was a super simple vegetarian roti quesadilla. If you are non-vegetarian, of course, you can absolutely add in whatever protein you want. Salami works great, sausage works great, regular chicken breast, whatever it is that you feel like eating, you can throw it in. But this is a surefire, delicious vegetarian roti quesadilla, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite now. Wow. Those vegetables are not overcooked. They're still a little bit crunchy, which feels really good because that cheese is soft and gooey. And so that, you know, there's a variety of different textures in the mouth, and it feels really great. And of course, it's a hot quesadilla and some cold sour cream, which tastes really amazing together. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this on as well. It's delicious. I really hope you guys try this, and I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying at home, and you're making the most of this unprecedented situation that we have. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching this and learning this as much as I have enjoyed creating it for you. And I'm gonna go enjoy my meal now. So thank you so much, and I hope I see you guys again soon.